After an inexperienced England lost the first test in Mohali, a repeat of the drubbing by Australia in the summer looked a certainty. When the announcement came that Darren Gough and Alex Stewart were going to take a winter break, it was clear that the odds were already stacking heavily against England. To lose Robert Croft and Andrew Caddick over security fears in the wake of September 11th turned the task of beating a side with the best home record in world cricket, one series defeat in 16 years, from hard to mission impossible. Put into bat by Ganguly, England made a strong start and reached a promising position of 172 for 2, thanks to 66 from Marcus Trescothick, his 8th 50 in tests, and 85 from Nasser Hussain.
Yeah, and that's well played. He was always in control of that shot. And a nice way to bring up his half-century, his 8th in Test match cricket.
That's a lovely straight drive. That'll be another boundary. The 8th of the morning.
Gives the charge again. This time it's hit well. He's got the distance. Sails into the stands. All of out. That is the definition of a poor leave. Can't complain about that. Big shout, umpire nods and the finger goes up.
The afternoon and evening session, however, developed into a nightmare as England's familiar batting failings reappeared and they subsided to 238 all out. Losing the final 6 wickets for 14 runs, Harbhajan Singh, the main tormentor, taking 5 for 51.
It's again the top spinner that's got rid of the right-hander. That's close. The finger goes up.
Well, I think that's as straightforward as they come. In the air, and I think that's it. It's all over. England are dismissed. 238. 5 wickets for Harbhajan Singh.
He's found the gap this time, through extra cover.
In reply, India were quick to ram home their advantage. Deep Dasgupta with a dogged century, his first in only his 3rd test, and 80s from Raw Dravid and Sachin Tendulkar, ensured that India built a daunting first innings lead of 231.
That's a lovely shot. We saw a straight drive in the last over. Now this is a lovely cover drive. Now that's edged. It beats third man. 100 for Deep Dasgupta, his first in Test match cricket. And what a moment for the young man from Calcutta.
Over that shot. Beautiful time. Well, made the mistake of hitting it straight to the fielder 2 or 3 balls before, not this time. Wow. Fine shot. 4 more to the total. 280 for 3.
Slack-out cricket contributed to this position, with chances going begging, leaving the only English highlights as 4 wickets on debut for spinner Richard Dawson and 3 for the persevering Matthew Hoggard.
Well, that must be out. Indeed it is. A fine, fine piece of bowling. So they may hit Dawson for a boundary or 2, but he quickly gets his revenge.
That's gone. Yes, the finger goes up. A lovely delivery from Matthew Hoggard. Into the hands. That's the end of that. That's the end of the Indian innings. Inside edge onto the off stump. So Siddiqui's breezy innings comes to an end, and so does the Indian innings.
4 more runs. Cracked away through the offside.
Saving the match on a pitch that was increasingly taking spin was a tall order, and it proved to be beyond the tourists. The pick of the Indian bowling attack was Anil Kumble, who finished with 6 for 81. Frustratingly, 5 out of England's top 6 reached double figures, but only Trescothick with 46 and Graham Thorpe with 62 went on to post an innings of any substance.
That's nicely timed by Thorpe. That's racing away through mid-off. That'll be the left-hander's first boundary.
This time he's found the gap and he'll find the boundary. Long time, that's wrapped him on the pads, that's out. The finger goes up, 2 wickets and 3 balls.
Well, that's a superb piece of bowling. Kumble far too good for James Ormond.
You're not in too much trouble.
Simple caught and bowled. That's it. England bowled out for 235. They have a lead of just 4 runs.
England avoided an innings defeat, but still lost by 10 wickets.
Deep Das Gupta, the man who scored a boundary of the first ball that he faced, and Iqbal Siddiqui, the man who hit the winning run.
A 3-test mauling now looked on the cards for England, especially after losing key batsman Graham Thorpe, who had to return home for personal reasons. But England, who last won in India in 84-85 under David Gower's captaincy, refused to go quietly, and for the rest of the series played improved, though over-cautious cricket, beginning at the Sardar Patel Stadium, venue for the second test. Hussain winning the toss for the first time in 12 attempts helped, and Mark Butcher and Trescothick immediately set about building a good score.
That's a lovely hit. Good firm strike, and that's gone all the way for 6. That's gone past the outside edge now. It's taken it. Kumble has struck. Butcher departs, and England had lost their first wicket.
Butcher departed for 51, but the momentum was maintained by Mark Ramprakash and Trescothick.
That's pass slip. He flashed hard at that.
Timing sends it all the way to the boundary.
You can see the bowler trying to find some swing in the air.
The opener was to fall 1 run short of his 3rd Test century, and England duly started to lose their way. The first day finished with the game intriguingly poised, with England 277 for 6, with Craig White and James Foster at the crease. It was clear on day 2 that a good first session was crucial to England's hopes of levelling the series, and White and Foster rose to the challenge by adding 106 for the 7th wicket. Foster with a coolly compiled 40 and White's maiden Test century of 265 balls including 12 fours carried England to a first innings total of 407.
That's it, that's the 100 for Craig White. He punches the air in celebration. Means a lot this to Craig White. He's batted absolutely superbly. Acknowledges now the applause first of the dressing room, and a delighted England dressing room that will be, and then of course of this crowd here in Ahmedabad at the Matera Stadium. A little kiss of the helmet badge.
With India now under pressure for the first time in the series, Ashley Giles dismissed Dasgupta cheaply.
Oh, is that the one we were talking about?
Then aggressive pace bowling from the new ball pairing of Hogarth and Andrew Flintoff resulted in the further fall of 3 quick wickets, leaving India precariously placed on 93 for 4.
Flintoff now takes the wicket of the Indian captain.
They're 4 down for 97. Still 310 down. What a lovely stroke. Lovely use of the wrists. Those are the magical wrists of VVS Lakshman.
But Laxman with 75 and Tendulkar joined forces to add 118 for the 5th wicket and carry India to 211 without further loss. Tendulkar compiling his 27th Test 100 along the way.
Screams from the bowler. What have I done?
That's punched on the back foot into the gap, and that will find the boundary.
There it is!
No singles angled away for Sachin Tendulkar. He reaches the milestone in style.
However, Giles, showing no ill effects of the Achilles injury that had hindered his progress since making a key contribution to the recent series victories over Pakistan and Sri Lanka, hit back to mop up the tail and to record figures of 5 for 67.
He's gone for the big one. He will find the man in the deep. The catch taken. The Indian innings has come to an end. Ashley Giles takes 5 wickets. These are his best ever test figures now.
With a first innings lead of 116, Butcher with 92 and Hussain with 50 took England to 373 runs ahead. With remaining match time at a premium, it was imperative that the England captain declared early enough to allow his fresh attack a crack at India before the close of the 4th day. Yet inexplicably, Hussain failed to set an aggressive declaration, and England were finally bowled out for 257, with 3 sessions of the test remaining. This left India with not only an outside sniff of victory, but also a manageable period to survive. It proved to be a critical point in the series, as England's attack following their captain failed to take the initiative. With time running out, Giles was unable to reproduce the heroics of the first innings, and a quick-fire stand of 116 by Indian openers Dasgupta and Das put paid to England's hopes of a win, leaving the game to meander frustratingly to a draw.
Dasgupta, I beg your pardon.
With all to play for in the final test in Bangalore, Hussain won the toss and elected to bat. Starting the test under floodlights, a first in Test cricket, Michael Vaughan and Ramprakash were the pick of the batting, with 64 and 58 respectively, as England made a reasonable first innings total of 336.
Find the boundary. 50 for Ramprakash. This has been a good innings.
However, the innings was not without incident, as Vaughan became only the 7th batsman in Test cricket to be out-handled the ball. After attempting to sweep, he trapped the ball bouncing harmlessly with his hand, the bowler Sandeep quite rightly appealed, and the decision was upheld.
The ball wasn't going onto the stumps. We saw an incident here in India just earlier this year. Steve Waugh was out in this fashion, handling the ball, and now we have another batsman, and what an unfortunate way to get out.
Well, the umpire didn't have any choice once India appealed.
Scenting a chance to take command in the final test, a revitalised Flintoff charged in with a new ball to take 3 cheap wickets, reducing the home side to 88 for 3. But once more, the remarkable Tendulkar came to India's rescue with 90.
Fine shot. Beautifully played by Sachin Tendulkar. That'll release some of the pressure.
After he'd successfully overcome Hussain's offside tactics in the first test, the England captain set a leg-side field and instructed Ashley Giles to bowl wide of the leg stump. It was to prove effective, as the little magician finally succumbed to Giles, incredibly out-stumped for the first time in his career.
Got him this time. That is the wicket that England desperately wanted. That is the comeback.
Though negative, it was successful, and India subsided to 238 all out. Leading by 98 runs, England's chance of squaring the series was cruelly thwarted by the infamous Bangalore weather. Only a further 7 overs were possible over the last 2 days, giving India the draw they needed to safeguard a series win.
Very good faith.